Hey guys, Ellie from the YouLi support team here to help you today build the perfect highlight and itinerary for your YouLi trip page. Your highlight and itinerary section of your YouLi trip page is where you want to show all of the amazing things that your travelers are going to get to do on the trip that they're coming on with you. So to share the difference between highlight and itinerary and all of the ways that you can feature different things and set times for them, I'm going to be showing you the itinerary and manage highlights that I built for my Innsbruck Mountain Retreat trip. So we're going to actually start through the traveler trip page. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer over, and you can see here that I'm now viewing my Innsbruck Mountain Retreat as the traveler. I'm here immediately onto my highlights side, right? And in this overview is where you want to share more about the trip that they are going to be on with you. We often recommend in this overview maybe having a video or even more photos, but really emphasizing the experience that they are going to have. Underneath this overview, right, you scroll down and you're going to see the highlights that you chose for your trip. We recommend putting highlights, not necessarily having to be things that they do on the trip, but if you notice here, right, one of the highlights I've chosen for my Innsbruck Mountain Retreat is that on the hikes, they're going to get a local guide. I did also include on my highlights, right, the fact that they are going to go on a day hike to Highline Ridge. So you can use this highlight section both to include activities, items that they are going to do, as well as other specific things that make this trip truly incredible and why they truly want to go on it. Also in your highlight section, you have the option of including any itinerary item that you put onto your trip. So I've included most of my itinerary items on my highlights for people to explore, but that is completely up to you, and I'll show you how you get to do that soon. So that's my highlight page that I see as a traveler. Now I want to go ahead and see the specifics of the trip that I'm signing up for. I click on itinerary and I can see all of the items that I will do on my trip. If I go up, right, to the top of the itinerary, I can click day by day and see the specific items that I'm going to get to do on that day. Now, if I go back to the show all and scroll down, if you notice here, my breakfast at Mountainside Cafe also has the option to view a document as well as more info. This more info is a link that I've added in here, and let's say it's the menu, right? They can hop over and see the menu by clicking here, or they can maybe, let's say I've added a PDF of the menu, they can view the menu by clicking this document. You also have the option, right, I do as the traveler, to opt into the morning yoga. On the back end, you can, as the trip planner, make itinerary and highlight items optional. If you notice here, the price is $10, but you can change this to whatever you need or even free. All right, now let's go back into and view how all of this was created on the on the planner side of YouLi. So I'm back in the planner page, right? I'm here under my manage highlights and itinerary under highlights. Right here I have those two items that I've specified are going to be as highlights, and I know that they are going to show up on that highlights page that I was on as the traveler. Here you can see the itinerary, which includes all of the items that I have included that people will be doing on the trip. Right, and here you can see I actually have one person who has said no to the morning yoga. So here is how you will see items that you have made optional, how many people have signed up and how many people have said yes or no. You can also see if you decided to include that itinerary item on your highlights. You can also see when that item is specifically scheduled. And as you remember, for my breakfast at Mountainside Cafe, I specifically included an external URL for people to link to, as well as a document for them to see as well. Now let's go ahead and let's look at what we can do. You can either create a new trip item, or we can go in and edit a current itinerary item and see how you can personalize and specify each item for your itinerary. So you can turn any of your travelers, any of your highlight or itinerary items back and forth and include either to be included on the other. So you scroll down, you can also make an item for the entire day, which will then it will have no set time. All of the trip time zones will automatically be put in what you set, but you can change that if you need to for the specific time zone. You have the option to allow travelers to opt in or opt out of the item. You include a description, right, of that item that they will be doing. Option to, of course, add links, add photos, and add videos as well. If it is an optional item, you can include the cost that will be incurred. You can include the specific address. You can also include the map of where that actual address is for them to see. Here is where you can add that website link to bump them into whatever else you want them to see, as well as a document link, perhaps for them to see or fill out. You also can specify if this is an activity, if this is free time, if you're mapping out the sleep time that they have, or let's say you're transferring them from Innsbruck to the hotel, you can include that as transport. You also have the ability to share this item with everyone. You also have the option to share only with specific travelers, right? You can choose who you show this to. And you also have the option to show to everyone except maybe one or two people who maybe are leaving, let's say, early on the trip. All right, you then want to make sure you publish that item and share it and that it's saved. If you have any other questions about itinerary items or the difference between highlights and itinerary, please feel free to reach out and let us know.